Welcome, everyone. Today we've got something a bit different for you.
Yes, a really important deep dive, actually.
Yeah. My tax accountant, a pretty big name in the UK accounting scene.
Oh, yeah, they're one of the best.
Yeah. Well, they reached out to us and basically they were concerned
Yeah.
that people might be, a bit confused or just not really
Yeah.
clear about what this whole spring statement 2025,
Of course.
really means for everyday taxpayers like you and me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they asked if we could sort of break it down,
Okay.
make it simple and look specifically at the things that'll hit individuals and small businesses the hardest.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot to unpack in the statement.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to be focusing on the expert analysis that came out just a couple of days ago on March 29th, 2025.
So it's really up to the minute stuff.
Right up to date, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in, shall we?
Absolutely.
Employer national insurance contributions. Everyone's been talking about this.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Big one. So the spring statement confirmed what we all knew was coming, an increase from 13.8% to 15% starting April 6, 2025.
Right.
But there's also something else going on here, isn't there? Something maybe a little less obvious.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The secondary threshold, that's changing too, and that's going to have a big knock-on effect for businesses.
Secondary threshold. Can you remind us what that is exactly?
Sure. So it's basically the point at which employers start paying national insurance for their employees.
Right, right.
So at the moment, it's 9,100 pounds. But from April, it's going to be just 5,000.
Wow, that's a huge drop.
Yeah, it is.
So what you're saying is businesses are going to be paying national insurance on a much bigger chunk of their employees' earnings?
Exactly. And that's going to feel like a real increase in costs, particularly for small businesses.
I can imagine, especially if they have lots of employees on lower salaries.
Absolutely. It's going to hit them hard.
So what can businesses do? I mean, apart from just accepting this extra cost, is there anything they can do strategically to sort of mitigate this?
Well, I think the first thing is they need to go back and look at their payroll budgets
Right.
and their cash flow forecasts. And maybe think about adjusting their pricing,
Okay.
because this is a real cost increase and it's going to affect their bottom line.
Yeah, for sure.
But longer term, they might want to think about things like automation.
Okay.
Maybe invest in some technology that can streamline their processes.
Right.
Or even think about upskilling their existing staff.
Right.
So they can handle more responsibilities, maybe reduce the need to hire new people at those entry-level wages.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it sounds like this wasn't a total shock, but it's definitely a wake-up call for businesses to get really serious about their labor planning.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to have to be much more careful about who they hire and when.
All right. Moving on then, let's talk about self-assessment and VAT penalties.
Okay.
Because there are some pretty big changes coming in April 2025, right?
Yes, there are. It's going to be a lot tougher for people who miss those payment deadlines.
So tell us about this new penalty structure. How does it work?
So it's kind of a tiered system. So if you're 15 days late with your payment,
Yeah.
you'll get hit with a 3% penalty.
Oh, okay.
Then if you're still late after 30 days, that's another 3% on top.
Right.
And then if you still haven't paid after that, you're looking at a 10% annual penalty on whatever you still owe.
Wow, that's pretty steep.
Yeah, it is. They're really trying to encourage people to pay on time.
Well, I guess it's not surprising considering how many people missed the self-assessment deadline this year.
Yeah, I mean, they said it was around 1 million people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just individuals who need to worry about this.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Businesses, too, with VA.
Exactly. If a business has cash flow problems, even just temporarily,
Yeah.
they could easily miss a VAT payment and get hit with these penalties.
So I guess the message is clear. If you're a taxpayer in the UK, you need to be on top of your game.
Yeah, no more excuses.
Know those deadlines and don't miss them.
Definitely.
But-
Otherwise, it's going to cost you.
Okay. Let's move on to making tax digital, or MTD, as everyone calls it.
Okay.
This whole digital reporting thing, it's expanding again, isn't it?
It is. They're rolling it out to more and more people.
So who's next in line?
Well, from April 2028, sole traders and landlords with an income over 20,000 pounds, they'll need to join the MTD system.
Right.
And that's on top of all the people who are already in it or who'll be joining in the next few years.
So remind us who's already in.
Okay, so those with incomes over 50,000, they're joining from April 2026.
Right.
And then those over 30,000, they're in from April 2027.
Okay, so it's a gradual thing, but eventually pretty much everyone will be doing their taxes digitally.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So for these sole traders and landlords who are joining in 2028, what does it actually mean for them practically?
Well, they'll need to keep digital records of all their income and expenses.
Okay.
And then they have to send quarterly updates to HMRC using software that's compatible with the system.
Yeah.
And their final tax return at the end of the year, that has to be done digitally too.
So no more paper forms?
Nope. It's all online now.
So if you're still using, paper records and spreadsheets,
Yeah.
you need to start thinking about switching to digital pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. 2028 might seem like a long way off, but it's
Yeah.
going to take time to adjust.
Yeah, I guess so.
I need to find the right software, you get used to using it, and make sure all your records are up to date.
It's a big change for a lot of people.
It is, but HMRC are offering lots of help and support to make the transition smoother.
That's good to know. So by 2028, we're talking about a lot of people using MTD.
Yeah, over 1.75 million sole traders and landlords will be in the system by then, on top of all the others who are already using it.
And just to be clear, MTD itself doesn't actually change the tax rates, does it? It's just about how you report your income.
Yeah, that's right. Your income tax rate, your national insurance rate, all that stays the same.
Okay.
It's just about moving to a more digital, more up-to-date system.
Right.
So instead of doing your tax return once a year, you'll be updating your information every quarter, which should make things a lot easier and more accurate in the long run.
Yeah, and of course, all those stricter late payment penalties we talked about, they apply to MTD filers too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So whether you're filing for VAT or income tax self-assessment,
Yeah,
those deadlines are even more important now.
right. So no more excuses.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the national minimum wage.
Okay.
There's a big increase coming in April 2025.
Yeah, it's going up to £12.21 an hour.
That's a jump of, what is it, nearly 7%?
Yeah, 6.7% to
Yeah.
be exact.
Okay. And younger workers, they're getting a particularly big increase, I see.
Yeah, the rate for 18 to 20-year-old is going up to £10 an hour.
Wow, that's over a 16% increase.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So I guess this is going to have a big impact on certain sectors more than others, right?
Yeah, definitely. Hospitality, retail, social care.
Right.
Anywhere where you have lots of younger workers on minimum wage,
They're going to feel this the most.
yeah, they'll have to adjust their budgets for sure.
And any small business with junior staff or entry-level positions will need to factor this in too.
Absolutely. It's going to affect their hiring strategies and their pricing.
Okay. So last but not least, let's talk about the main tax rates.
Okay.
No changes there, right?
No, they didn't touch those.
So income tax, national insurance, VAT,
All stayed the same.
and the income tax thresholds, they're not changing either.
Nope. All frozen until 2028.
Well, I guess in these uncertain times, a bit of stability is welcome.
Yeah, definitely. It makes it easier for people to plan.
But there's still this thing called fiscal drag, right?
Ah, yes. Fiscal drag, the silent tax rise.
Yeah, because even though the tax rates aren't changing,
Right.
wages are going up.
Exactly.
So more people are going to find themselves in higher tax brackets.
Yeah, and they'll end up paying more tax even though they're not actually any better off.
It's a sneaky way for the government to get more money, isn't it?
Some people would say that.
Okay, so to sum up this spring statement, it's a mixed bag, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We've got the increase in employer national insurance contributions, the tougher penalties for late payments, the expansion of MTD,
Nope.
and the rise in the national minimum wage.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's all important stuff that UK taxpayers and small businesses need to be aware of.
Definitely. And if anyone wants more information or advice on how these changes might affect them specifically,
Yeah,
they should get in touch with my tax accountant.
they really are the experts. So if you have any questions or you just want to talk through your specific situation,
Yeah.
give them a call.
They'll be happy to help.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.